Hello, hello, and welcome to Training Tuesday Live. We're Magnet Marketers, and today we're going to be diving into how to audit a website or your website. If you want to know how your website's performing, some ways that you can analyze it, we're going to share the process of what we go through when we're asked that question, how's my website doing? Would you recommend us making any changes? That kind of thing. So something that we'll do with our client websites, we're going to share how you can do it for yourself and how you can go through that process. If we've not met before, my name is Jessica Phillips with Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System. I'm an awesome co-host, Mike Gingrich. He's the president of Digital Hill, the co-founder of the popular apps Waftio, a tab site, published author extraordinaire, all-around great guy. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, doing well, and this is one of my favorite topics, so just glad to be able to dive into this one today, and feels like I talk about it all the time, one-on-one, so it's good to talk one-to-many about this and just help people make sure they're up to date.
Absolutely, because a website's never really done, right? Maybe you can answer that question as I share this out, because we get asked that a lot.
Yes, is it done? Basically, the answer is no, because the web is ever changing. The web is ever evolving, and there's, protocols change, browsers change. You have to keep up with those different pieces there. So there's lots of little pieces to it. I mean, we just went through the major transition for sites to be mobile responsive, Google changing to evaluating sites on a mobile first basis. I mean, there's all kinds of things. So is it done? No, just because of those things. Google is trying to return the best search results. You want to be at the top of the search results. They're trying to make those authentic, keep away, the gamers who are trying to game the system. So they're making updates. So you have to be aware of those updates, adapt to those updates. As I said before, browsers change. I mean, Chrome just rolled out a new update. There's different pieces with that you need to be aware of. Chrome went to basically alerting everyone if a site is not secure with an SSL in the browser bar now, and so encryption, having an SSL certificate is on there. So there's all kinds of little details.
Dare I say Gutenberg?
Gutenberg in WordPress is basically there and coming and changing the game in terms of WordPress management. So there's all kinds of pieces. And some of that might sound like foreign terms and, 16th century, 17th century terms, Gutenberg, the press, all those kind of pieces. But we're going to try to break them down. We're going to try to talk about what really matters there and just get everybody up to date. So, Corrine, welcome. Everybody else, if you're here, feel free to let us know that and join in with us. So, when we talk about it, Jessica, you and I are on the same page. Website is the home base. Yep. Social media, all these other pieces are wonderful, add-ons, but they are not the core. Website is the home base. Just like it's your base, your home, it's your infrastructure. Should always be open, growing, evolving, and never done. So should we pick it up from there?
Absolutely. Like you said, it is your home base. It is your online storefront. So if somebody's walking into your store, they're walking into your online store all the time. It's always open. It's always there. It's the first impression that usually they have about your company. So you want to make sure that it's a good impression, of course. So, and that you have a home base, you have a website, and they continue to update it. So I'm going to go through both of us are going to go through a list of some of the checks that we go through when somebody's asking, do I need to update a website, or what kinds of things should you recommend, or would you recommend that we update? So the very first thing that we look for is the goldfish test, is what I like to call it. Is if I go to your website within 15 seconds, because usually, that's the first impression time period, what can I recognize about your company? What does your homepage hit me with right out of the gate? Like, what is your brand saying to the customer as soon as they walk in your door? It's that very first impression, the first time that they're seeing you. So we go through this, and first I will do this with a team member, a couple team members. I'll have them look at your website. If you're doing this, have a friend or a team member, look at your website, maybe even somebody that isn't as familiar with your website, look at your website, wait 15 seconds, say, what do you feel about our brand, or what do you recognize about our brand as soon as you get there? Yeah. And I know people commented, I shared on the Magnet Marketers page about if you want us to analyze your website, comment below. And we got a lot of people to respond. So I'm going to do this test at the very end after we go through this list on one of those sites that were linked below. And because I already went through this process on that website. So you'll want to make sure you can follow along after we go through each of these bullet points, and we'll do it together on a live site. And I'll share my screen.
Excellent, excellent. I just want to highlight what you said. I think that getting an outsider's perspective, because people within your company, that type of thing, we just see it too often, and so we just kind of glaze over and gloss over, and we even read things that might not be there just because we're so familiar with what it should say, that type of thing. So that getting that fresh perspective, outside perspective, someone that's not quite familiar, and getting them to say, what does this say to you, and how does this make you feel, and where would you go next, and what do you understand they would do, just in that little quick synopsis, is tremendous. And as you said, it's like that, they're going to decide things in that first 6 seconds. Somebody coming to the site, whether they're going to stay or not. And so then just having them reflect on that and saying, okay, 15 seconds later, what did it do for you, and go through those pieces can be a powerfully enlightening process.
Yeah, when we design a new website for a client, everybody gets caught up in the pretty, right? They want to see an image that's kind of taken over that home page, and just because it looks good. But it may not be the best thing for your brand. Actually, when we build a new website, we start with a wireframe. It has none of the pretty to it. It has the functionality of what is somebody going to see when they get there? How's it going to lay out with somebody that's on mobile versus how somebody is viewing this on desktop? And what elements do you want them to click on? What should be there at the homepage of the website, or any inside page for that matter? Because you want to start at the homepage, but then you want to go through the inside page. What logical steps do you need them to click on and get through in your website process? Because they may not be landing on the homepage every time. And that's really important to remember, because you don't need to cram everything into your homepage and overwhelm someone. You just want to have your brand there, give them a feel, and give them the most items that are most important, that explain how you help them and who you help. So really, don't think about necessarily the pretty right out of the gate. You want to think about the usability right out of the gate and the brand overall. And since you just mentioned 6 seconds, I think you should maybe hit the next one. Because
Yep. I mean, basically, the top questions that you're answering, and they're gonna be able to find those. So it's kind of like do you want to talk about it as the hide and seek? If I search for the main point, do you solve? Do you show up? So that's a key thing. There is when they come, what are they finding, and where are they going? Can it be done? And I think that people are making decisions in that 6 seconds. If not in a general search, when they're searching online, if not, they're going back, to Google, checking the next result. They're moving on, and so that's what's key.
Yeah, hide and seek. So the hide and seek test is searching for something that somebody would search for. You're being the customer. You're pretending like you're having the problem that you're helping solve, and you're literally searching that problem on Google. Are you showing up for those results? Sometimes if you are doing this yourself, your results could be skewed. You can turn this on your Google search window to incognito in order to make it give you kind of a truer result of how somebody could be showing up, or how you could be showing up in search-related results. So to change it to incognito, I'll show you when I share my screen, but search in incognito so it's not giving you a skewed results based upon your browsing history, right? The next one I like to call supermarket sweep test. This is how easy is your site to make purchases on your site. So if somebody is making a purchase or checking out or trying to get in contact with you, how quickly could they do that? Are they trying to really dig deep to find like how they can actually get from start to finish to work with you or to buy something from you? Or how easy is that process, and how do you limit the clicks for them to be able to get through that process? How quickly could they do that? And is it a frictionless experience? Like, how could they get from start to finish? That goes back to the UI UX, which is usability for your customer and your clients that are visiting your website.
Yep, absolutely. And do you want to go on with the friend or foe Okay, the friend
Yeah.
or foe concept. So,
Sure.
or basically kind of the
Or boring.
boring
Really boring.
test. Yeah, yeah. So, what tone are you setting? Is it the tone of a friend? Somebody's warm and welcome. They feel like, hey, I belong. I found the right spot. Or is it, kind of cold, standoffish, resistant, just, that type of thing? Is it boring in many words, when it comes, and does it do anything? I think that a differentiator has to be online, that you're beginning to evoke some type of emotion, and hopefully you want that to be positive, that type of thing. So you don't want to evoke none, and you don't want to evoke negative. But that's the key. There is, can you make them feel like, yeah, they've got what I want. I like this. This is easy. I'm digging in, and hey, this is pretty good. Boom, just like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned all the updates to Google that Google's had. One few years back now was the Hummingbird, and the Hummingbird updates spoke a lot to how your content is written, and is it written in a conversational tone to your audience that you're trying to connect with, right? And this is definitely helping with search, but also more than that, it's helping with the people that are visiting your website. Is your website content speaking to them, or are you using a bunch of generic or jargon content to try to sound polished and better than, and you end up coming off as a foe or boring or just not relatable? So are you speaking to the pain points that you're solving for your customer in a way that's understandable to them if they're reading it, and where they click on your site and it's like, do you struggle with this? Here's how we help you overcome this. And it's like, man, I've met my match. This company gets it. They get me. And now I will move forward with the process. So when we're looking through a website, we literally look through the pages. We ask them who their ideal audience is, who's going to be searching for them, what kind of key terms do they think somebody's going to be searching for them. And we do this test pretending like we're their ideal customer and saying, okay, what would I get out of this company, or what would I know about this company, right out of the gate just by visiting their website? Not all that they told us about themselves, but right out of the gate, just by looking at their website, what kinds of things can we, bullet list out of that we understand about this company, and what do we think their process would be to work with, or what do we think it would be like to work with them based upon visiting their website?
Yeah, because somebody's coming and they're saying they have a situation, they have a problem they want solved. So they're coming, with that kind of agenda. So you want to position it so that your what problems are we solving? We're helping you solve X. We're helping you solve Y. These type of things, so they can say, oh yeah, that's me. I'm Y. I need that one solved. So that, okay, they're doing that type of thing, versus just spewing about us information.
Yep. And that goes back to the question and answer test. Like, what kinds of answers do you have on your website that you're company, I think I would like to work with them. Does it have the price there? Or if it's, hey, do you have a contract with this? Is there answers to that? Or do you ship in by area? Just basic questions that sometimes we forget and we hide because we're like, well, they'll just call us for that information. Chances are they're not. 60% of this buyer cycle's over before you even talk to someone. They want to do everything online. Prime example, I went to get a software actually yesterday to renew it. And I went to the website. I was sold on the software, okay? And as soon as I went onto the site, they blooped me, like their little messenger section there, and said, hey, do you want to upgrade to pro? And I'm like, yes, I do. I literally respond, yes, I do. And they're like, okay, well, it depends on pricing. So can we jump on a call? And I was like, can you just give me an idea? Here's how I'm going to be using it. No, we need to jump on a call. And I'm like, forget it. Like, let's just check out. You're an online software company that deals with people online. You should have thought this process through.
That's called friction, and it's, yes, it took away the ease. I was ready to put the card in. I wanted that piece, and
I would have been a customer already. They could at least gave a base level and then went from there, but they just lost it at that point. So yeah, lesson learned for someone there. You want to hit the next one?
Well, I really liked this one. This is the stay in touch test. Can we stay in touch? And basically that is when someone's coming to the website, is there a inbound workflow so that you can stay in touch with them, so that it makes it easy for a follow-up to occur? Because I forget exactly the stats are somewhere in the 70s. I don't know the exact percentage there of people who visit a site that may not come back again to that site. And so it's going to be important that there is some type of inbound workflow, that you're making it easy, attractive. You're trying to draw them in so that there is that next step to have a follow-up.
Yeah. And I want to ask everyone that's watching here, if you're watching the replay as well, like, do you guys still fill out forms? Like, if somebody is giving something of real value, would you be willing to put your name and email address in for it? I want to know. Or do you have something on your website that you do this? What do you feel about inbound processes? We're kind of in the vein on, can we stay in touch, where we're working with clients where we give a lot more away for free now, because we feel like people have kind of somewhat tainted the whole inbound experience, where it's like, give us your information, but we're not really going to give you something that great in return. So, this doesn't mean that you have to, gate every piece of great content that you have. It means that you can give away a lot of great content first, but still have a way for people to subscribe, maybe to get that next step, to stay in touch with you. Maybe to stay in touch with you, it's your social too, right? It's easy access to get to your social profiles. Maybe it is, easy access to sign up for your chatbot now, and to learn more information there as Messenger grows and chatbots grow. Shout out to Kelly, that she builds great chatbots, and that's becoming a huge piece of some companies' marketing. So what do you guys think about that? Because at least give an option for people to get in touch, and you do that through having like craveable content that people are going to want more of. So if you're producing that craveable content, people are going to come back and they're going to want more, and they're going to want to know, how can I be notified of that? To Mike's point, that's where they get in touch. That's where they, stay in touch with you and can get through that inbound process. But you have to be able to have something built in. If they're coming to your website, they may not be ready to buy. They may be in a contract with someone else. They may be still researching, but at least, give them the option to opt in and have that workflow in place so they can do that with your company when and if they're ready.
Yep.
And that's the "Can I live without you?"
There we go.
Test.
All right, so now we're getting into something that is critical. It's never going to go away. It's becoming more important, more imperative. We're seeing changes to this. So and that is speed. The speed test. Okay? It's got to load quickly. So first off, it was because of mobile devices. People are starting to use mobile devices. They had maybe 3G, whatever. So did it load well on that? Speeds are picking up, obviously, on the mobile devices, but more people are using mobile. But now it's become such a dominant way that people are using the web more so than desktop, that it's a Google first mentality, that they're indexing sites from a mobile perspective first to rank them. It's a rating factor, and that's key is the speed test. Does it load quickly? And we have a number of tools that we want to talk about and go through that help you evaluate that and go through that, but it's imperative.
Absolutely. That's the today junior test. And how quickly is it loading, and is it optimized for mobile? Like you said, like, would it work on mobile the same way or better, a better experience? Like, if, for example, if you have pop-ups on your website, there's nothing more frustrating than to get on a mobile device and your pop-up block everything that I'm trying to do, and then the rest of the site doesn't load. There's just a horrible experience, right? Like, make sure things are optimized for mobile.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring up the website of Prairie Creek Pets. She was the first person to comment with her website, and I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. Let's see. Hopefully it might be live. Jives with this.
So, a simple thing for that is that people shouldn't have to pinch on a mobile device. If they're looking at it and the content is too small and they have to pinch the screen to make it bigger and widen it, okay, that's a clue that it's not any longer. It's not a mobile responsive site. So mobile responsive should adapt and flow down to the device that you're on, and it should be. All right, I think I'm here.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to get my It's a learning curve and process. Okay, I was trying to get just my desktop to show and not us, but I think when I do that, it completely removes us from the show. So hopefully everybody can still see the desktop. And let me know if you can see my desktop okay. And do you have another screen open where you can look and see and make sure that that looks good? I've only done this with myself in the desktop, not another person, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, so on the mobile device, we're looking fine there. I'm seeing
Okay.
it. So
Perfect. All right. So the very first thing I do when I go to a website, of course, like we said, I go through this test and see what do I see about your brand and what can I tell about your brand. And I have to say, I love your website, first of all. I really was impressed with how well you were on brand. And I could tell right out of the gate, one, because your name and your logo has what you do in it. But also right out of the gate, we treat your pets a mile above the rest. Okay. Like that's it. Not here's what we offer, blah, 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 blah. It was all about your customer and you're talking to them directly. And you said exactly what you do. And I feel like you're speaking to me on this website. So I really feel like the very first two tests, you nailed it. Okay. You nailed the brand. You nailed hitting your audience. You nailed your services, and looky there, the price is right there. You nailed all of those aspects, okay? So here's some of the tools, though, that I go to say, not just my experience, but how are you looking to Google, right? Like what does Google think of your website? So I would open up another tab, and I go to marketinggrader.com. And I would put in your, I think I have a couple extra E's in there, marketinggrader.com. And then I put in your website there. So one of my tools that I use is Marketing Grader. This gives me just a general look at how Google's seeing your website, how they bring in several different tools and say, okay, how's your website performing? How's it working on mobile? And is there security? As Mike said, 10 points of like your overall SEO grade if you were to get a grade card. About 10 points is your actual security, and then 17% of your overall score is your social media. Okay, so just two easy things right out of the gate that you can do to improve your SEO. But your security is that SSL. So it's really inexpensive if you wanted to contact whoever does your hosting, but you don't want this little non-secure thing to show up. So something you could do definitely is purchase an SSL for your site. And you can call usually your hosting company to add this on. Some of them add it on in kind. Some of them you pay for. It just depends.
And it's a ranking factor now too. So not only is Chrome showing it to people there and saying it's not not secure, which is just is encrypting any transmission of content there, but as well as a ranking factor. So Google basically says if they have it, yes, okay, check that off, give them a bonus point for that. If they don't, okay, not getting one. So you want that.
Absolutely. So this will break down why it's graded your website out of 100 possible points, and it gives you some ideas on how you can improve, your overall grade, how it's grading your SEO. It gives you a nice little PDF that you can send to yourself right here, and it'll go through all of those aspects for you. Okay, so marketinggrader.com is the first thing that I look at. The next thing I check out is SEO site checkup. This is just a nice little tool we subscribe to, but they do give you a free analysis. Let me actually just go to what you would see here without logging in. SEO site checkup is only looking at your search engine optimization. It does check your speed overall. Well, I guess it's going to make me log in and do this. Hold on. Apologize. I was reviewing all your guys' websites as you sent them, so I may have used up my free for the day. Okay, so you can click in here, though. You can go to SEO site checkup, check your website score, and do it for free. But it's actually going to give you your search engine optimization grade. Okay, it takes a minute to load. And a lot of times these are right in sync with the Marketing Grader report. See, same thing. So, but it's going to get a lot more specific on what keywords are coming up most commonly on your site, how Google's kind of seeing your site as a keyword cloud, and give you some recommendations on how to fix your links and what's broken on the site as far as links are concerned, and some of the things that you may not see user facing. Okay, so this is another free tool that we use to analyze some websites. Mike, have you used either of these two tools before?
Yes, Marketing Grader for sure. SEO Site Checkup is a newer one to me. So yeah, I use a couple others, and I think we'll get to a few of those. But yeah, that one's newer to me.
The other tool I use is called the Wayback Archive, the Wayback Machine, some people call it, because I want to see how often are you updating your website. Okay, so this may be a tool that some agencies may use, or web development companies, maybe not necessarily you if you're analyzing your own website, because you know, right? Or maybe you don't know, maybe you don't remember the last time you updated your website, but it'll say, okay, this website, the last record that we have of this is August 17th, 2018. Was this when your website went live? Love to know. But that's another tool that I use. And some people may ask, so I go through the rest of the tools, and some people may not know, when the last time it was updated or backed up, or even what kinds of back end it's built with. I will, like, if you've hired another company to do this website for you, I will always look with built with, and also like who is data, to find out how this website is, how this website was built, and what kinds of tools did they use to build this website. I'm just not typing in any of the links right today. Hold on.
It's always because we're watching,
Yeah. Okay, so when I put in your domain, then I can tell if your website was built like on a theme, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with themes, but sometimes they can cause your site to run slower. And if there's updates, it causes more things to sometimes be broken. And it can cause a lot of additional issues with your site. I can also see, do you have Google Analytics on your website, right? What other kinds of plugins do you have? Okay, so you have Yoast, great. So I know hopefully you have some meta descriptions that are on your site, right? Like I'm looking to see what your site was built with, WordPress, woohoo, and kind of what else it's linked into. Okay, so this is another tool for people that are maybe in the agency world or are building websites. This is something you can check out to kind of get all that back end information to see. And then I want to look at, okay, the craveable content, and how can I connect with you, right? I would love to see a blog on your website, because I would love to see, like, I love you have prices. I love that you have reviews. Like, great job. This is awesome, honestly, to have both of those things on there. Absolutely. And it's so clean. Like, I can't say enough about how much you're doing right on your website. Like, I was literally trying to dig for things to point out that you can improve upon. But one of the things for sure is potentially having some video and having a blog, giving people a reason to come back, or some value-added content. So maybe it's like the 5 favorite treats that your dog would love, that you can make at home, okay? Or it could be something of, how to read your dog's personality and temperament, showing that you are the expert at what you do, but giving people the reason to come back to your website, and because they're loving the content that you're producing, because it's speaking to them, and it's all value-added content, and it's going to keep them coming back. And then what you do with that blog is give them a way to subscribe, so they stay in contact with you and get notified when you publish something new. So they're constantly coming back to your site, and then remembering, oh, we do have a trip planned for, next month. And you know what? I've asked my sister the last 3 times to watch my dog. Maybe it's time I call a professional to do it so I don't burn our bridge and my sister stops answering my calls, right? So, something like that's keeping people to come back and keeping you top of mind. Anything to chime in here yet, Mike? Or I'm sorry, keep talking.
No, I'd say you're right on, and that tool is very helpful there. So I'd say we can keep going there. And I guess I can mention, I don't know if you don't have to go to it necessarily, but similar one to this that I use is the GT metrics. So that's a tool that helps evaluate your site from a speed perspective, and kind of goes through, just a number of processes there to help you have an understanding of how that site is performing, definitely from a speed perspective. So that's another one that's good. I liked your idea. I go to the Wayback Machine there to take a look at things, but you're evaluating it from how to you're not just taking their word for it. You're going back there to see how frequently has been content been added there. So I think that's important, and that's a good thing.
And it's not just that I'm not taking the word. A lot of clients, honestly, they don't remember.
Yeah.
Like they're like, because it's been a while, right? Because when they did their website and they had it built, it was considered, here, your website's done, right? So they're like, I don't know if I don't know, I think it went live last year or whatever. And they haven't heard the concept of growth-driven design, like continue to add new things. So like, for example, if we were going above and beyond besides adding a blog here, another thing that I would recommend, since you are getting all these reviews, like how great would those reviews be if they're on Google and people are searching for you there? So even adding like a little site here for people to get to your Google listing to leave you a review and making it super simple, or even on your reviews page, like, hey, do you love us? Making it stupid simple for clients to then get to your review section and leave you more reviews, because reviews are only going to grow in popularity and how much we all as consumers are looking at them to trust a company and choose one over another. So just extra little things that you could do right there on your website. Oh, do you have that? Read more than a dozen 5-star reviews. Okay, I did not scroll down to this last time. I was on my mobile. I checked it out on mobile, and then I checked it out here, and I did not even see this down here. So maybe I wonder if this could be even like a hover that stays at the bottom or something, so it goes with you, because I don't know if somebody will scroll down that far. Maybe. Are you getting a lot of clicks from this? I don't know if you're on, but are you getting a lot of clicks to read more reviews? There.
That's good. Yeah. So a different mechanism, if that's important, to try to keep it visible above the fold, we say, so it's present.
Yeah, because I love how clean this is, but read reviews of cherry cake, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, yeah, or even just another way, maybe even of laying this out. But again, I really am like nitpicking here because I do like your site. If you're not sure how things are displaying on other tools, real quick, this is GT metrics that Mike has mentioned. This is like your SATs instead of the other tools that I've mentioned, like SEO site checkup and some of that. They'll give you like your speed test, like being nice and giving an overall speed test. This is like the real shabam, like, is it perfect speed test? And it will literally break down and give you your score. So like the browser caching, but you can see it's pretty consistent across the board. These are the other two things that the other two sites that we scored it on had brought up. All of these are. So, I mean, it's pretty consistent across the board. And this one's 79 actually. So this one's 71 score. So actually that's pretty consistent with the other ones. They were 76.
Yeah, it's definitely, it drills down and hammers into it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the other tool that we use is Browser Stack. Now, this one is, again, a tool that you either have to subscribe to if you're going to be checking out multiple sites, or you can use so many for free to do a free trial and to check some sites. But this will give you cross-browser testing. So let's say you went live with a new feature on your website. You'd want to use this because what it does is take that link and then show you how your website performs, and you can interact on that on your website within another browser or mobile device. So literally you could compare your website across 16 other, different types of browsers, from Windows 9, God forbid, or, all these other devices that are out there. So maybe you're only testing it on your iPhone, but you want to know what it works and what it looks like on a Samsung, right? Or an old iPhone, or, whatever. This is a site that allow you to do that. So it cross-browser tests your website and then gives you screenshots. So if you need to send something to your developer, or if you need to test it again, you can kind of compare it against what was there before.
Good.
I'm trying to see if I had any other. Oh, okay. The other two that you don't want to overlook, or well, there's three, but the two that you really don't want to overlook is literally just Google Analytics. So if you have Google Analytics, just see how your website's performing there and compare it year over year, month over month. See how your website is performing, right? There is a Google Analytics browser extension that I'll put a link in, or you can search Google Analytics browser. I have a new computer and I didn't add it to this one yet. But if you have, Google Analytics browser extension, what's nice is that you can add this here. So anytime you go to your website, it's going to give you a sneak snapshot of your Google Analytics right at the top of your website page. So you don't have to go log into analytics every time. I do recommend going there though, at least once a quarter, once a month to check and see, your page flow and where your sources are coming from. But at least it's going to give you a lot of the data every time you go back to your website and tell you how your website's performing. And then another one we use for our clients, so if we're really thinking about really changing some things up on their website, we use Hotjar, and we'll say, hey, we're really interested in entering this partnership with you, but we want to monitor what people are doing on your website right now, where they're clicking, are they engaging with your site? So as we start thinking about the build process, we can see heat maps and video screenshots of what people are actually doing on your website today and how it's impacting, what we should be doing in the future. Because some things that people click on are just how they're clicking on maybe an image expecting it to be a link, okay? Or they're clicking on a link and, leaving right away. Whatever those things, this kind of real-time analyst of your site will really help you know what to do and how to improve it.
Yeah, no, the heat mapping, does not lie, right? So that's a key thing. That's stepping up your game there, to take a look at that piece, and it can definitely give you a tremendous amount of insight. Great for like shopping carts and stuff like that, just to test out the process as well.
Yeah. There are some tools that'll help you spy on your competitors too. So we always do ask clients like who their top competitors are. Not that there's technically competitors, but who are you competing for business against? We use a tool called SimilarWeb. It does have a browser extension as well. It allows you to plug in the website that you're on and see kind of how you're ranked up against them, where are they getting a majority of their traffic, how are they getting in referrals, what does their search traffic look like? Like where are they, what are they ranking for the most right now? Where are they getting their top leads? So if you're wondering what kind of social media to be on, this could help. How much are they spending on ads? Who their current audience is, what other sites are similar to this one, and if they have any apps. So this tool is a little sneaky, handy, dandy thing as well.
Good. No, so hopefully, folks, that gives you kind of a overview of the many options out there. We're dropping links in there so you can go take a look at these pieces, and hopefully we've highlighted some things that you'll want to go check on your site. Just like the SSL. But those are important things now, fairly simple to take care of. That you want to get going, but all of this makes a big difference. But number one, from that perspective of can someone come there and can they say, can this place help me? And do I understand what they offer and where it's going? And can I get there quickly, easily? Is things fast loading and answering my questions? That's what it's all about, solving problems.
Absolutely. So we will recap this with all the links into a blog that we publish on Now Marketing Group's website each week. So we'll recap this with all the links in there. I'll also post them in the notes below this video. And everyone else that commented to review your website, I will do the best I can to get through and give you at least a snapshot look at some of the reviews on some of these settings on here, and then make sure you have the links to follow through too and see what you see on your end. So thank you so much for commenting and participating with that. I really appreciate it. And all of you tuning in this week, I really, really appreciate it. So any last finishing thoughts on doing a website audit, Mike? How often should somebody do this?
Yeah, I think that you want to stay in touch with things throughout the year, but definitely each year you should be doing a fairly thorough one. And then along the way, it's trying to stay in touch with places like us, what we're doing, because if we're saying, hey, there was a major rollout, that type of thing, then you should be doing a check on those pieces. And so because of the speed of change, once a year as a minimum. I think that doing it twice a year is really going to be helpful. And then again, being aware of new rollouts, things that we're talking about. If Chrome does something, Google does something with those pieces, so that you're doing some things in between them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying up to date with those. And then like once every 2 years, think about how can we maybe do a facelift a little bit, or look at Hotjar and see some kind of, bigger things that you can do. Something that we do with our clients, we have like a wish list with them. And so we have like phase 1, we want to do this, but our big goal is to do this next thing. Maybe we want to build a membership site portion of this, or maybe we want to roll out a podcast, or whatever it looks like.
Yes, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, whatever it looks like for your company. If you continue to work on it over a year time, it doesn't seem like as big of a jump, right? So think about what your wish list items could be, and just continue like adding little bits here and there, and you'll get there. So yeah, I think as long as you're continuing to work on it, it is a good thing, and a good thing if you don't have someone that you find, maybe somebody you're comfortable with, to do that with your website and constantly be checking it, like Mike said. So if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask us. We'll get back with you too on your website and its performance. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. You can tune in with us next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a special guest with us and topic. So if you're not sure, or if you're not signed up already, you can go to magnetmarketers.com, sign up to get in touch, and we will send you the notification of what we'll be talking about next. So thanks so much for joining in with us. Thanks, Mike.
Yes, thank you. Great topic, guys. Hopefully that was helpful for you, and have a great rest of the week.
See ya.
All right. Yeah.